Hi everyone, my name is Olivia, and I'm going to tell you about my life with my sisters, Abby and Victoria. These two sneaky girls hate me, and all because I have 90% less pathos in me than their manicure. I'll tell you how disliking relatives can turn out, and how they almost ruined my whole life. My sisters and I lived with my grandmother. Our grandmother is a very wealthy woman in Los Angeles. It so happened that our folks worked for several businesses and they didn't have time for us at all. So Grandma offered to take care of her granddaughters for free as well. My parents agreed, and I didn't care. My sisters, on the other hand, were the happiest of all. They knew that my grandmother had money and intended to use it while they were living with her. One day we were sitting in our room packing, and before we left, Mom told us to pack everything in our suitcases. My sisters started talking to each other. "I'll ask her to buy me a car right away." "And I'll ask her to buy me a diamond necklace." "Get her to buy me a car first." "But I want the necklace." "What's more expensive, my car or your necklace?" "Who cares? Grandma loves us, so she'll buy anything we ask her to, right?" "For us, yes, but for some people, she might not." "You mean Olivia?" "I don't want anything from her." "Of course you don't. You're adopted. You should be thankful for being in this family. You could be living in a dump with alcoholics or something." "That's right, or with addicts." "It's the same thing, Victoria." "Oh yeah? I don't know much about it." "God, if you were a little smarter, I wouldn't be so bored." "There's no fool to a fool." "What did you say?" "What did she say?" "Pack your things quietly, Olivia, okay?" I may be adopted, but I'm officially part of this family, and I'm grateful to our parents, but that doesn't apply to you. Well, let's see how you live within our grandmother's walls. She hasn't even met you yet. You'll get to know her and find out she doesn't like non-pure breeds. Honestly, I was a little scared. I didn't know what to expect, but my parents promised that it would be 6 months at the most, and then we'd all live together again. My new grandmother was quite a well-groomed lady for her years. She looked at me very intently when I approached her, and without making eye contact, said hello. She called me modest, and that was it. She never said another word. The girls kissed her, hugged her. They spent a lot of time together with her, and I was sitting in the gazebo outside or somewhere else in the house. With the girls, our relationship got even worse. One bought a necklace, the other a car, and they bragged about it to me every day. Shit, I got confused. I didn't want a necklace, I wanted a ring. Be happy with what you have, Victoria. Yeah, well, at least I have this. Olivia doesn't have anything. I have everything. I didn't ask you. If you think you deserve it, you're wrong. You're just lucky. Like I said, I do not care about your opinion. Who do you think you are? Abby got close to me, wanting to do something, but then the TV broadcast an announcement about a charity event organized by one of the foundations of the city. "Whoever contributes the most money will get dinner with the chairman's son, Mark William," they said on TV. Man, did they both scream. Abby immediately calculated that they needed at least $2 million to screw everyone at the party. Where are we going to get that kind of money? From Grandma. I don't think she'll give it to us. We could just ask for a check with her signature and we'd write the actual amount ourselves. But how do we do that? I have a plan. The girls left to whisper, and I went outside to feed the squirrels. My grandmother came up behind me. I felt uncomfortable. We got into a conversation. She asked about me, and I thanked her for helping my parents out. "My son told me you are very hardworking and ambitious. I appreciate those qualities." "Thank you, Grandma. Ma'am." "Yes, I like it when people respect the chain of command. Officially, you're my granddaughter, but you still need to earn my trust." It was a cold conversation, but I wouldn't have expected anything different. A couple of days later, the girls asked Grandmother for a check without specifying the amount, and of course, she refused. Then they tried to throw a tantrum, but she did not give in, saying she does not give out money for things she doesn't know about. The girls were offended, but that same evening, they came to her with a reconciliation and brought her tea to her room. But there was something strange about it. I peeked through the door, and I saw her drink her tea, start acting strange, sign the check with a stamp, which they took out of the safe, and then she passed out. I ran into the room. "What did you give her?" "She'll sleep for a while. It won't do anything to her." "Yeah, we went shopping for dresses for tonight. You make a sound, you're gonna regret it." I called an ambulance, and they took Grandma away. They escorted me out into the hallway, and then the doctor came out and asked if she'd drunk anything or ate anything suspicious. I didn't want to get in trouble. I also didn't want to get my parents in trouble because of the girls. I said I didn't know, and then the doctor informed me that Grandma was in a coma. I was shocked. I immediately called the girls. They came to the hospital and told the doctor that I had slipped her an illegal drug. What? What are you talking about? We both saw you. Yes, she put 15 drops in there. I counted. So you saw and you counted, and you didn't stop her? Well, no, we just got confused, scared. Let them send her to jail. What? We have to go home now. We have to tell our parents. They wouldn't let me out of the hospital. They said they needed to clarify something. I first sat in the corridor, then they let me into a room. The girls probably called my parents and lied. I asked when the doc was going to call the cops, but he said there would be time for that later and asked me to stay in the room while he gave some shots to my grandmother. I didn't know what to do. I looked at Grandma and felt sorry for her. I just said I was sorry that this had happened to her. I took a book off the shelf and started reading aloud to her. When they brought her medications in, I ran around and got her what she needed, rubbed her legs and arms, checked her body temperature, took her blood pressure, as the doctor said. 3 days passed like that. I slept in a chair next to her. All the time I was asking the doctors how she was. When the machine that measured her condition ran, I called the doctors in the middle of the night. Why did I do that? Because I couldn't stand lying. My grandmother and I were not close at the time, but I was still worried that she had been deceived and was in a coma as a result of her own grandchildren's rash actions. Oddly enough, my parents had not yet arrived, but 4 days later, my sisters came back. Abby asked me right off the bat if I'd been arrested yet. As you can see, they haven't arrested me for a crime I didn't commit. Come on. Anyway, we had dinner with that handsome guy from the foundation. Shut up, Victoria. Why? Let her be jealous. I mean, we gave the most money, $2.5 million. It's not your money, it's hers. She's our grandmother, so it's our money too. We would have inherited it anyway, and you wouldn't get any, you know that. She's the richest grandma, not our parents. I'm not claiming, especially not in such a vile way like you did. She's in a coma because of you. The main thing is that she put us in her will a long time ago. The rest is just a matter of time. You haven't called our parents? Not yet, but we will soon. We'll call them and tell them that you try to kill our grandmother. That's not fair. You know too much. We have to get rid of you. Nothing personal, just money. Sorry. Bye-bye. I hate you. I cried right there in the chair. Half an hour later, I called my parents, but my father was angry. They already knew everything just from the liar side. My parents flew in 3 hours later. Dad burst into the room and started scolding me for not calling right away, that I'd even thought of doing such a thing. I tried to tell them the truth, but they wouldn't listen to me. Then suddenly, Grandma opened her eyes. Dad rushed over to her, and she slapped him in the face. That's for raising your children the way you did. But I thank you for Olivia. We sat down, and she said she'd pretended to drink that tea because it smelled weird. And then she just played it all out to see who was to blame. Grandma was more clever than I thought. My parents apologized to me, and what awaited the girls, I won't tell. But just so you understand, all their jewelry, cars, and brand name things were taken away from them. That was only a small part of their punishment.
Hi, my name is Ross. I think my story is nothing new, about how my sister just loves to annoy me. I'm sure many of you will see a reflection of our relationship. Is this why it happens? In some families, I hear amazing stories about how little brothers and sisters, or little sisters and brothers, siblings, sisters, yes, in general, everyone loves each other. They don't fight, they don't blame each other, they understand each other and respect personal boundaries. Why am I so fucking unlucky? Huh? How many of us are like that around here? Give me some likes and write in the comments so I can see who has a similar situation. My sister's name is Rosie. We're twins. She is 7 minutes older and has been proud of it all her life. Rosie just loves to annoy me and knows how to do it. Life hacks on how to piss off Ross in 3 seconds. Rosie will tell you. All I have to do is purposely spread her hair all over my bed, smack when I'm sitting next to her, sing songs really loudly when I'm on the phone, take the bathroom for 3 hours when I have to rush somewhere, take my stuff without asking, steal money, take pictures on my phone, leave my computer on at night, throw my socks in the trash, use my shaver. I say these things and I'm already shaking. All of these things you don't have to do, and if you do, it's only if you're a toxic person like Rosie. Are you saying something about me there, bro? I'm not your little brother. You're 7 minutes younger than me, so you're a bro. But I'm 7 years ahead of you in terms of development. What did you say? It's not what, it's what. Literacy. I have a date tonight with that cool guy from Westwood. Wow, lucky me. I hooked up with a hottie. They're gangsters, all those guys from there. Be jealous, you're way ahead of them. If I wanted to be dumb and kind of brutal, I'd give up high school for crime. Also, if I had a girlfriend like you, that would be the finishing touch to the portrait of an imbecile. Who? No one. You wouldn't understand. Okay, bye, Rossi. Don't call me that. To be honest, when my sister got a boyfriend, I sighed a little because I hoped that now he would get most of the attention and not me. I was partly right, only it lasted about a week. Then they started fighting, and my sister was annoying me even more with her antics. It was like she was taking it out on me for being an idiot. Once, after another fight, she came home a little tipsy and started annoying me again and laughing. I freaked out and told her angrily that her stupid boyfriend was coming over to our house. I knew they kind of broke up. What did you tell him? Told him you had another. What? How dare you? I hate you. Who cares? You broke up anyway. Now it's definitely because of you. You don't understand these broads. She's gone, but she still cares. My sister made me the one to blame for her bad romance. And what do you think? The two of them had been racing together for a couple of days. Only I heard about the Westwood boys for a reason. They don't like to be made fun of. My sister's boyfriend decided to get back at me for the joke and make me remember it for the rest of my life. I'll tell you what happened next. It was pretty quick. They caught me on my way home in the evening, put a bag over my head, and covered my mouth while I was screaming. They brought me in and threw me out of the car in some obscure place, like a junkyard, where a bunch of Westwood kids surrounded me and started intimidating me. While I was trying to get up, one of them kicked me in the stomach. It was Rosie's boyfriend. She was standing next to me watching. Rosie, so he's your boyfriend. There are so many good-looking ones, and you picked him? What did you say? Shut up, Rossi. Now he'll show you how to make jokes on us. Are you serious right now? You're my fucking twin. Can't you feel my pain? I guess we were bred differently. I just feel you pissing me off. I wish I'd strangled you in utero. But I have every chance to do it now. Rosie's boyfriend jumped me, punched me in the stomach a couple of times, then leaned me against the wall and told me in such a menacing voice to get off his girlfriend. Rosie, is he completely stupid? How am I supposed to get away from you? You're my own sister. We live in the same house. Don't listen to him, Pookie. I'm sick of him. I thought it was the end of me, and then Rosie intervened. She said she was bored and wanted to go for a walk and listen to music. He let me go, and when she took him away, I ran home. At home, I asked my sister why she got involved with him in the first place, and she suddenly burst into tears. It took me a long time to process what she said because I couldn't get it all into my head. I looked at my sister with amazement, and at one point I even felt sorry for her. It's all because of you. You mean because of me? You've always been the best, not like me. Parents always praised Ross for his best achievements in school. At family parties, you always said a toast to the whole family, and they never let me say a word. My parents always thought I had bad language, and in general, I was stupid myself. The only accomplishment I had was that I was 7 fucking minutes older than you, and what did they give you? Nothing. Hey, Rosie, you think too bad of yourself. Do I? Remember all your trips out of town to the Olympics and competitions? Dad would pay for anything just to get his smart kid to participate, and you won every contest, as if out of spite. I wanted to prove myself too. I asked them to send me to a talent show because I'm a good singer, and what did Mum and Dad say? They didn't have the money. Well, what does that have to do with the big guy? It does! Over the years, I've learned how to piss you off. It's been so much fun. You know, the very thought that I disgusted you, that I could make you uncomfortable with my mere presence, it became my sole purpose to annoy you. Are you serious right now? Does it look like I'm kidding? So all these years, you've been annoying me on purpose, just because you were jealous of your parents? Yes, just because they loved you more, gave you more attention, and had more faith in you. My sister was sobbing, and my feelings were raging inside me. And at the same time, I was caught up in them, not knowing what to say or how to react. I felt a bit sorry for Rosie. The once bitchy, self-aware sister was suddenly so defenseless, so weak. All I could do was hug her tightly, pat her hair, and tell her that she was my twin and therefore a better version of me. Do you really think so? I'm sure I do. After our conversation, Rosie fell asleep and I went to talk to my parents. Son, is something wrong? Yes, Dad, there is. And for a long time now, I need to talk to you about Rosie. It was a long night talk. I asked my dad why he refused to send her to the show, to which he said he'd never heard her sing. That doesn't mean she can't. I have some money, so it's not too late. All it takes is for you and Mum to believe in your daughter. After all, she is my twin. I could see that they were ashamed, that what they were hearing was shocking. Apparently, they really thought that it was better to invest in the child for whom there is a return. But there isn't. First, you have to invest to give back. Don't you agree with me? Father hesitated, promising to answer in the morning. They approached Rosie themselves and said they had agreed to pay everything. Rosie was going crazy with happiness, and I saw she was so happy. The day before the trip, her muscle man came and thought it was me trying again, and that's why my sister wasn't picking up the phone. I knew I couldn't resist him. He was 4 heads taller than me, so I just showed him the phone and said, my sister is going to fulfill her dream of becoming a better singer. If you didn't know she was singing, then she didn't love you. Number 2, you're not in those dreams, as you noticed, so fuck off to Westwood. And if you don't understand, I can call 911 and they'll explain to you on their fingers. Do you understand now? The guy growled something back and walked away. Then Rosie jumped up behind me, hugged me, and thanked me. A week later, my sister was on her way with my mum. We excitedly watched a live show with my dad where my twin blew up the stage, showed them all who she was. I admired her for the first time in my life. One thing I regret is that we wasted so much time on the wrong things. But better late than never, right? What do you guys say? Tell me, did you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Don't forget to like it and share the video with your friends. And subscribe to the channel.